Joining us for an incredible conversation, first time on the show, is a man whose name is synonymous with NFL electricity. A guy that changed the game completely, not only at Virginia Tech, but then when he came to the NFL, I seen him throw a football out of a stadium.
Yeah, that's right.
Then he can shake the shit out of anybody. And now he is the host of the Gaming Society Football Show, which airs Thursday nights on Fubo Sports Network at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Vick.
Yeah!
What's up, dude?
What's good, fellas? What's up, AJ? What's up, Pat?
Hey, how are you, man?
What's up, man?
Did you ever play against AJ?
Yeah, I was just thinking, 2010, did we play against each other, AJ?
Yeah, we did in the playoffs. Mike actually got pissed at me. I'm glad you're on. I think you thought I was trying to bend you back on a goal line play. You were trying to score, and you started getting mad, yelling at him. I was like, man, I think I might even apologize. Like, man, I wasn't trying to bend you back, man. I was just happy to not have to tackle you in the open field like somebody already had your leg.
We still got beef here, or are we
AJ,
good?
AJ, you told me to shut the hell up and suck it up.
Mike, I would assume that everybody that played against you does remember or have a story about playing against you. You were a player that completely flipped the game on its head, obviously years and generations ahead of time. Do you think about what your game could be now in the modern age? And are you happy that guys who literally emulated you, looked up to you, idolized you, are now getting their time to shine in the NFL more often?
Yeah, all the time. I watch these offenses right now, how dynamic these guys look, how they've just taken it to another level. And I always give a lot of credit to the offensive coordinators because these guys are super talented, uber talented, but you got to still bring that out. And you got offensive coordinators like Brian Dable and guys around the league helping guys like Josh Allen become the best version of themselves. Cliff Kingsbury with Kyler. You know, these guys are taking off in a different direction. And if I'd have played in today's time, it would have been curtains. But look, this is not my era. This is not my era. I acknowledge that. And it's good to see the game elevating, though. It's good for the league.
Hey, the conversation around like Lamar and even with Josh Allen now is he's becoming a power running back at different times. And any other guy that runs a lot is you're one hit away, right? You're one hit away.
Yeah.
In the NFL, you're one hit away. Lamar, even though he has the ability to make people miss and doesn't get hit hard, he's one hit away. Is that something that should be a legitimate like concern for people? Or is it like you're handcuffing some guys if you don't let them run and don't let them be the best versions of themselves?
Yeah, you are handcuffing them, but I think it's a way to do it where it's strategic. And I think about Josh Allen and the way they use him. Occasionally, you'll see a quarterback sweep or a quarterback power, but you can't abuse it. You know, those guys, everybody's really one hit away. But your quarterback is a guy that you pay all the money to, and you want this guy to be sustainable and durable. And he got to have longevity if he's a franchise guy. So you got to look at the broad spectrum to make sure you playing them the right way, giving them the best opportunity, but protecting them at the same time.
Mike, when you look at these quarterbacks that are left in the playoffs right now, a guy that people always point to, Jimmy G and Jimmy Garoppolo into San Fran, there's all these people want to talk about how he's playing, doesn't have a bunch of touchdown passes and crazy numbers, but the dude wins and his team loves him. I guess when you watch Jimmy play, like what do you see and what do you like about him?
I see a guy who's super confident, who believes in himself when the whole world is barreling down on him. He puts himself in a position where he thrives and he excels off, just his personal motivation. Like you look at his win-loss record, is way above 500.
Way.
He always make the right play. Sometimes he'll make a play that's goofy, but who doesn't do that? At the end of the day, when you're looking at Jimmy G, he's winning games and he's a leader. And even it seems like his teammates look to him, as a guy who got all the answers. When clock is ticking and who you want the ball in the hands of, and it seems like it's Jimmy G as of right now. He's proven that time and time again. So I think consistency is a mark of a great quarterback. It always will be, and Jimmy G is pretty consistent.
And it feels like all of his teammates come out and like put him over. So that means a lot to me. I think whenever ex-teammates come out and say, hey, I like the guy, that means behind closed doors, he's also a guy you would want to be representing your squad.
Right.
Let's go around some other quarterbacks. Obviously, in this era, Patrick Mahomes has been deemed the next one, right? They're talking about him competing with Tom Brady in his second or third year in the NFL because of how much he's already accomplished hosting another AFC Championship game. When you see his game, what do you think about it, and why do you think he's had so much success?
When I look at Patrick, I instantly think about Russell Wilson and a young Russell. When Russell first came in, and it was like, where did this guy come from? It was a fast-paced game that he played, but it was under control, and it was slowed down to a point where you can't really hit him. You can't get a clean shot on him. He's gonna make you miss. He give you a stutter step. He's not even the fastest. Like he's more in control of his game than a guy like myself, than some of the more elusive quarterbacks who, we kind of get out of control. Patrick, Andy knew exactly what he was getting when he drafted Patrick. He knew exactly what Patrick was going to be. And it's not surprising to me because I was in training camp with him and I saw the development. I seen him interacting with Alex Smith. I seen him wanting to become a football savant and wanting to learn the game. And when you had Alex Smith and Andy Reid in the same room, Matt Nagy was in there. His background was extensive, dating back to our days in Philadelphia. So it was just offense. It's offense everywhere, and he's going to continue to get better each and every year.
What do you mean you get out of control a little bit, unlike Patrick Mahomes? What do you mean?
I wanted them yards. I wanted every yard. AJ, I tell you, in that game we played, I wanted every yard I can get. I wasn't thinking about sliding. Everything is about, beeline to the sideline, a beeline right up the middle. No, these guys are taking off 3/4 speed because you under control now. Now you can maintain to be a passer as opposed to a runner passer. You're a passer runner. And when I look at my career and look back at that, I'm like, I should have did more of that. I might have had more passing yards. I'm not satisfied with having 22,000 passing yards. You know what I'm saying? I'm not satisfied with that. But, that was my career. Still had like 6,000 rushing, almost 30,000 yards. Yeah. So, I got to be proud about something, fellas,
Hey, you should be, obviously, your football career. And I think you've had your lumps off the field. And I think it's potentially because of, whenever you grow up in a certain way, there is learning curves that come with obviously being thrusted into the spotlight and making mistakes. Do you think not only on the field, off the field, you had no idea how important your position was at the time? Like you said, you're trying to get these yards. I'm reckless, basically. Do you think that moment in that title, in the weight of the world on your shoulders, you didn't recognize at the time? And what was it like going through all of that shit to realize everything I do, people are going to know about and have an opinion about because I'm an NFL quarterback now?
You talking about the broader spectrum when you look at the quarterback position and everything it embodies. I think about some of the things I did, some of the gestures I made. I stuck my middle finger up at the crowd. I might have said some things in post-game pressers that, was very vulgar and, created some form of disconnect. And I'd be like, what type of idiot I was. Being in the position that I was in, you're the quarterback, you're the franchise guy of a National Football League, a team in the National Football League, and you don't understand the magnitude of it when you're young. That's why I like where these young quarterbacks are, because they coming into situations where they got people who in the building care about where they're going to be in 15 years. What their career going to look like post-career. You set up properly, you create the relationships, you embody being that guy, you embody being a franchise guy, and you embrace that, and you walk around like that, and you throw your suit on. We used to go on road games, and I used to, have a fitted, a jacket on with a hoodie and jeans, and all my guys around me got suits on and looking good. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be the first guy on the bus with the sharpest suit on, tailored, fitted, and looking like the franchise guy. And, so when you're young, you do certain things that, obviously you think about it 10 years, from that point, you like, damn, I wish I would have done it better. But I see the learning curve, and I'm glad these young guys getting it now, doing it better.
Mike, you mentioned some coaches earlier that you played for, and I mentioned it a lot on here. I feel like the most important position on a coaching staff is whoever's calling the offensive plays. They can have the largest impact, good or bad, on the team. How important is that for a quarterback, especially to get to a team where, you have some players around you, but I think most importantly, you have a coaching staff that puts you in position to make plays.
And hold on, Mike, before you answer that, I want to add on to that. I assume you and offensive coordinators didn't get along at the time because you just, you were the player, right? I mean, most of the time?
Yeah. No, I had good offensive coordinators. I had guys who they understand. Dan Reeves was a great offensive coordinator, and then I got Greg Knapp, who was a good offensive coordinator. I made Pro Bowls with all these guys. Every coach I played for, I made the Pro Bowl. I had some success, so I have to give them credit for that. And it was a lot of hard work in between. But AJ, to answer your question, and just everything in parallel, you have to have a guy who understands your skill set. I think most importantly, and he has to know, and you got to be honest as a quarterback. Like, coach, I'm not comfortable making these throws. I'm not comfortable trying to attack this area of the field. If there's a blitz that you're watching on film that you can't pick up in a certain protection, you got to open the door up for questions. You got to talk it through. You got to have that relationship with an offensive coordinator. I think that's so important. And more importantly, I always say, coaches make players. We can have all the talent in the world, but you get with an offensive coordinator who don't know nothing, you're not going to generate offense. And it's just that simple. He has to know you. You got to know him. And when you hear that play call coming in, you got to know why it's coming in.
Hey, do you think some places are just there's some buildings, it feels like, that are just always going to suck, Mike? I mean, like Jacksonville's hiring a new head coach right now. Good luck to Byron. Hey, I think we all love, I'm happy to see former players get head coaching jobs and GM jobs.
They hired Byron?
It's alleged. It's allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly, all right. Done deal or whatever. They're trying to figure out.
So.
Yeah, so do we, by the way. More players in those roles are awesome, we think. But do you think some buildings are just natural disasters waiting to happen? For instance, and this is not our opinion, but this is a national opinion, basically. Sam Darnold didn't have an opportunity under Adam Gase, and then he gets hurt, and he doesn't have Christian McCaffrey, so we never know if his career is going to be good. Daniel Jones, he has his fourth offensive coordinator in 4 years. We don't know if he's ever going to be good. Do you think there are some situations that is very valid, or do you think some players can rise above all that bullshit, and they're the reason why coaches stick around and why there is consistency?
Yeah, it's only certain players that can rise above that, Pat. I mean, it's extremely hard, to overcome walking into a building and having to really be in control because you're so young, you really don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
As a quarterback, you're leaning on certain people in that building for advice and, to show you the way. And you can't necessarily step in and be a guy who, takes control instantly of an organization, and young guys get put in that position. So it's a collective effort all across the board. And, these teams are going to slowly but surely start to realize we get a guy here who we know we can win with. We got to take care of him. We got to surround him with the right talent. And it's unfortunate that a lot of quarterbacks, they get with coaches who are just not going to be good for them. That's just the nature of the business. Some of us get lucky and have great, stellar offensive careers, and some of us, we fade out, and it's all about who you're around. So I was blessed to be around some coaches who helped me understand the game better and help me play better. And I think it's really about the quarterback, wanting to really please your coaches and show them I'm learning, I get it, and I can go execute it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see about a lot of these guys, like Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I mean, we have hopefully Byron will be able to go in there and have success for him. But there's a chance that turns over 2-3 times in the next 4 years. Not that Byron will get fired, but for just natural of the beast there, and we will literally. Trevor Lawrence was good, but he wasn't good in the NFL. Why though?
I like the fact that because we all played the game, so we know what goes on internally in the building, so we can speak on a different level. But I like former players who become coaches because they, and I'm not saying that you got to play the game to be a great coach. There's a lot of great coaches who haven't played the game or never touched the ball, never made a tackle, never caught a pass, who are very successful in their own right. Some got rings, but I think the guys who understand the game, played it, know what it's like when, it's 2 hours before kickoff, know what it's like when that ball is about. You can give guys the answers that they need to calm them and settle them down and kill that anxiety so they can go just be the best version of themselves. So, I think that kind of, as players become coaches, it translates. I just think about D'Amico Ryan and the job he's doing now. I played with him in Philadelphia for 3 years, and now he's one of the top defensive coordinators in the game. A coming behind Robert Saleh and having some tutelage and former players. So that's really cool to see.
Agreed.
What about the Bengals and Joe Burrow? So I live in Ohio, so there's a frenzy out here with the following the Bengals. Are you surprised at all to see the Bengals? Yeah, we know how great they were for the regular season, but I don't know if everyone expected them to get this far and have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Are you surprised at all?
I'm gonna be honest with you, AJ. I'm very surprised.
Why?
I'm very surprised, man. Like I can't sit here and say, like, no, I'm not surprised. I knew Joe Burrow had the talent. I knew Joe Burrow had the talent from what he did last year. But for them to piece this whole thing together in 24 months, like from the time they drafted this man to getting him the right coordinator, getting the right pieces around him, understanding we got to protect this young guy, make sure that we get him everything he wants. I just spoke about that. They go get Jamar Chase. I mean, Jamar Chase, one of the top players in the league now, and so it's so good to see, man. Like we know we're gonna see Cincinnati for the next couple years or the next upcoming 10 years. You know, to watch them, that's gonna be exciting.
Hey, and I think I assume you're in Florida. That appears to be a enclosed environment in a pool area, maybe in the back.
It's enclosed.
Yeah, you have an indoor facility. The Bengals don't. Okay, that is just we have to remember that. Your question, Ty?
Mike, you mentioned Philadelphia, and obviously you go there and win Comeback Player of the Year. How much of that? Because I think you had your best passing season statistically when you got there. How much of that was you just being more mature and kind of realizing what you could do, and how much of that was being under Andy Reid? And did you find that like defenses and other guys in the league kind of just assume that you wouldn't be back because you were out of the game for a couple years there? And how satisfying was that when like you started to perform well and kind of showed everyone like, hey, I'm still the same guy I always was?
Yeah, that was more so about being around Andy, man, more than anything. It was a different locker room too. You know, you walk into the locker room, you see all these players, you see all this potential, and you're like, man, if I just put it together myself, if I take the time and put time in and learn exactly how to get these guys the ball, be the leader in the locker room, then we can have some success. I didn't think that I would play in that first game against you guys, AJ. When Kevin Cobb went down, you know, I didn't know I was going to get thrust in. You know, felt like I wasn't ready, but, you know, that kind of catapulted everything and got that season going. And then Andy made me the starter after about 3 weeks. But the detail that I was given at the quarterback position, I can only imagine what Patrick Mahomes is getting from Andy now. 12 years later, with the game changing and transcending, I just looked at their playbook, and every week I got my game plan on Tuesdays. I was excited. I could see touchdowns, I could see first downs, I could see third down conversions, and I knew we was going to have success because I knew I was dealing with a different coach who understood me as a player. And that was really cool.
I assume you were a different person too, though, right? At that point?
Yeah, most definitely.
Whenever you get to spend, obviously everybody knows that you ended up having to do some time or whatever, and you came back.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I was going to say when I was in prison, I told myself, when I come home, when I get out of here, not only do I want to do things right off the field and make amends for some of the things that I've done, but I want to be that quarterback who my coach can trust in the passing game. Let me throw it 50 times and he believe in me. You know, I'm going to be the guy who study and they're going to see me around the building. I just didn't know I was going to end up in the hands of Andy Reid. Like that, I didn't know that when I was in the cell. Like I didn't know. Like I thought I would come home and go. No disrespect to Buffalo, but they wasn't playing well at the time. I could have been the backup in Cincinnati. I think those was the teams that was calling. And then Andy called. I'm like, okay, they got Donovan. I'm probably gonna sit the bench, you know, for my first year. But I see the plan that was created. My body wasn't back. I needed, like I was fat. I gained some weight. I was 226. You know, I was half your size, AJ.
Oh, hey.
What do you play at?
I was almost 240. I played at 210, 211.
Jeez. What are you now? What are you now? Still got it?
Yeah, I still got it. I'm about 215. I got some weights over here in the corner.
No!
Some dumbbells I pick up and knock out, you know.
Hey, did you do
30 reps a day or something like that?
I know you played chess in jail. Did you hoop too? Did you just dominate people in there?
We won the championship.
Hey, let's go!
We won the championship.
Let's go!
Yeah, that was fun. That was really cool. I was like at my height in my basketball career but I played in some Adidas that didn't have some soles in them, and it messed my knees up. I think it took 2 years off my career.
Yeah.
I bought in some Adidas, like shell toe Adidas, man, and it was like, yeah, that was it. I was 27 at the time, so my body could handle it.
Yeah, prison basketball cut off the end of your NFL career in the second chapter, which is a shame.
Yeah. Hey, they tried to get me to come back and play another year. I told them no, I'm good. This is temporary, fellas. This is temporary.
Let's talk about you playing chess, because I think that story was kind of leaked and awesome. I assume that's where a lot of conversations happen in the jail as well, with whoever you're playing against, whoever's sitting around, as with basketball. What was your relationship in there, and where do you still play chess?
Man, I love chess. I played chess before I played Madden, and I love Madden.
Well, you
like
were Madden.
Shout out to Madden, man, the great John Madden in the video game. We all love Madden, man. But I will play a game. Before I go play golf, I might sit and play a game of chess. That's how much I love chess. That's how much I love the competition and, the sitting across from another man or females. They know how to play too, and they be pretty good. Like, a hell of a lot smarter than us. So you're going to get everything, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get everything that you want when you sit down to play and you touching them pieces. And sometimes it might take 3 minutes to make a move. And you're trying to figure out what he trying to do, and he trying to figure out what you. It's the coolest game ever, man. Maybe we can get a game. Any of y'all know how to play?
Well, I'm fucking closed Sicilian, dude. All right, I just want to let you know I'm coming with the closed Sicilian. I learned it from Queens.
Okay.
He doesn't know how to
That's
play.
a cool move.
Mike.
I'm gonna be looking for that.
Well, I also got the open. Don't worry, I got the open Sicilian.
I got a couple openings.
Yeah, I watched Queen's Gambit, and I picked up a couple of the terms. Did you watch?
Nice.
Did you watch that? And did any of it? Did it make sense to you? Are you like at a level where you'd feel comfortable going against those people that do that shit full time?
No. Hey, so look, quick story. We had a chess club in Philadelphia, and we used to invite all these kids and teach them how to play chess. And I watched these kids just play chess every week. We'll sit down and we'll play, and then this one kid kept challenging me, and it's like 12 years old. I'm like, I'm ready, and this is the day we having like tournaments, and I got eliminated in the first round.
12-year-old.
I got eliminated in the first round by a 12-year-old, and his moves was like precise and calculated. And I came in, I came in with my opening, and he was negating some stuff, and I tried to move, and I ain't see something. And next thing you know, he took my queen, and it was over.
All right, let's talk about what you have going on. Very, very excited to chat about the Gaming Society Football Show, which airs tonight and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Fubo Sports Network, alongside Dave Anderson, who I looked at. He's a restaurateur. This guy, he's a restaurateur. How'd you meet up with him, and what's the show about?
Well, Dave used to play in the league, so one of the guys that I knew, I did some work with over at Fox Digital. He was on a different platform, and he called me and asked me, did I want to be a part of it? Asked him and Kevin Garnett got on the phone, along with Dave Anderson. I know Dave from his playing days in Houston. So they told me what the Gaming Society was about, sports betting platform. As we came up. As we played, we was taught to stay away from sports betting. I knew nothing about it, how to do it, but it was an opportunity to learn. And once I found out what the Gaming Society was going to be about, I thought it could help a lot of people like myself who didn't know about sports betting. So it's a cool platform to be on. It's cool to talk sports. Cool to sit with Dave, across from Dave, and learn, how to sports bet and all these intricate ways to place bets. Man, I think it's really cool.
Well, we enjoy the fact that you're diving into the sports gambling site for sure. Sports gambling world, for sure. There's a giveaway happening for 2 tickets to next year's Super Bowl. You go to gs.predictionsgame.com. You answer some questions. You get them right. Boom! You potentially win Vick's tickets to next year's Super Bowl. It's cool shit, Mike. I'm very pumped for you, and I can't wait to see more, hopefully, of you in the media world. You're awesome.
No doubt, man. Thank you, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey. Legit, I hope at some point, when you're sitting in that incredible pool there and you got those weights, you think about like the full change in your life that you've been able to kind of be spotlighted by, and the amount of people that probably look for inspiration to you. That's a very cool thing.
Yeah, no doubt, man. There's a lot of people who helped me along the way, man. I got to give a lot of credit to, and I'm still growing, still learning. Anytime y'all want to have me back, man, I love to be on the show. It's an amazing thing y'all doing right now. Keep up the good work, baby.
Hey, we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Vick.
Yeah, boy!
Tell you what, I can't believe you tackled him. I just assumed you missed him every time. AJ.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. He was already wrapped up. It was like he was on a 2 or 3 yard line going in. So I was just jumping on the pile.
You were pushing back with like your body. It was one of these.
I didn't view it that way. I guess he did. Yeah.
Well, you told him to shut the hell up.
Did you say those words to him?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, Mike, why don't you shut the fuck up?
I think I was confused. I was like, "What are you doing?" I didn't think I was doing anything. Oh, there it is.
Well, that's one of them. That's not.
That's a different one. Yeah.
That's probably afterwards, after you told him to shut the fuck up. I'd assume he was playing close Sicilian on you.
Yeah.
There's a better picture that I saw. I mean,
Woo! Did you cause a turnover?
Oh, it should have been a fumble, probably.
Looks like a fumble.
Was it not?
No, I don't remember it being a fumble.
Well, his arm speed's so fast. That thing's
True.
that thing's coming forward quicker than
He was so good, man. He was so scared to try to tackle.
Whenever, and I don't think I ever was on a team that played against him. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I used to hear stories about them bringing in somebody to play for the scout team. And it's like it would not be a quarterback we're bringing in. We're bringing in a corner who's maybe a little bit taller, who can throw a little bit. And we don't know if they're going to be able to complete passes, but we need our D-line and linebackers to understand that this motherfucker's faster than you, quicker than you, and is ready to embarrass you. And also, he has a cannon of an arm. He had a cannon of an arm. Him saying he's not happy about only having 22,000 pass yards, I think that because his arm talent that he was able to showcase at the end there with Andy Reid was so good, and it was like he didn't need it, I guess, to kind of get through it. And
He had a cannon. That's the thing. He was like he was a running back, basically, how he ran and so elusive, but then he absolutely had a rocket for an arm. And like I've talked to guys that played with him back when I was playing and that played with him that loved him. Said he was like an awesome team guy. They all really, really enjoyed playing with him.
Now, obviously, he made some terrible decisions in his life. He was in jail numerous years, right?
Oh, yeah. 2, I think.
2
Or
years
like
in jail.
18 months or
months.
something.
And there's people that still are not over
yeah.
what he did, obviously, and that'll never happen. But I think watching him, and there was accountability in his voice. It sounded like kind of evolve and learn and respect his position in life and everything a little bit more is something that happens a little bit slower for some people from different areas than others. But I would assume he is also somebody you can learn from in a lot of different conversations because of his background and where he grew up at. So it's a gift and a curse, everything is, potentially. But what a fucking ball player Mike Vick was.